Welcome, everyone. My name is Jeff St Laurent, and I'm thrilled as usual, but for a different reason today. In just a minute, I'm going to bring on my great mentor coaching client. Before I do that, though, I do record all of my Tuesday live shows, and I put them in my university on my website, sellingcoaching.com. Check out the university. I help coaches transition to a full-time business, and we have a fantastic coach on today, which is going to share her journey so far along the way. You can check out my great resources at sellingcoaching.com right on the homepage. If you start there, you can enter your name and email and you'll get instant access to an audio training course, which is called Launching Your Full-Time Coaching Business, the First 3 Vital Steps. That's also going to put you in my email community. That's going to give you a better chance to not only get some great information, but check out what I'm doing as well. A lot of great things going on. And one of those things is my GoPro Challenge, which is what brought me to Melanie about 6 months ago. So to get into that story, first, Melanie, welcome to the Tuesday Live Show.
Hi.
So,
hey, everybody.
I'm so happy you're here, Melanie. So Melanie Kimberlin, so you know her full name. And so Melanie, it's about 6 months ago now, right? Or just over that.
Right.
You took my 14-day GoPro challenge.
Right.
So talk to everyone about so what brought you, where were you at in your business first off to say, hey, I'm going to do this challenge?
Okay. Well, so I graduated from IPEC September 2019 and certified in February.
And so for those that don't know, that's a coaching certification school.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. And I still have a full-time job. And so I wasn't actually anywhere much with my business. The actual nuts and bolts and the structure of the business were just overwhelming me. And as a perfectionist, if I can't do it really great, then I just don't do it at all. So I was really at a point I was wanting to move. I was wanting to do some things, wasn't actually sure what to do first, where to go. I just felt like I needed some help. And then I saw your 14-day challenge and I thought, well, what is there to lose, right? So signed up for that and then just went through it and enjoyed it. And I liked the challenges that you gave us. You pushed me out of my comfort zone, but yet you also gave me the instruction and the guidance to help me know what to do. I'm willing to do what I need to do, but I don't always know what needs to go first. And so I just really felt overwhelmed, which is where I came into that one.
Yeah. And that's, so now we're on the heels of the challenge. And I like how you said that, cause I feel like you just encapsulated what a lot of coaches feel, right? Like you're not ashamed. You'll do the work and you've done the work. We'll get into that. And I know that firsthand, you are a workhorse. But I think you captured it really well. You're willing to do the work, you want to do the work, but sometimes you're not just quite sure what is the work and what are the steps to do. Once it's all laid out for you, you're off and running.
Right.
And so you did the 14-day challenge. And then after that, I've got my 5-month GoProElite group coaching program. And I remember we got on the phone and people have said different things to me over the years, but you got on the phone and you're like, I'm going to be your easiest sale so far because you were ready to go.
Yeah.
Why were you so ready to go? Just to share, what type of mindset did you have? So obviously you got some great guidance. Why were you I know I want more. I'm going for this 100%.
Well, so this was not a snap thing for me. I've been thinking about this for months. I've been trying to weigh, do I try to do this myself? Do I pay someone to help me do this? And if I'm going to pay someone, who do I get? And, there's tons of people out there marketing us, coaches. And so many of them, I did not like their presentation. They were too over the top, get 20 million clients with 2 emails. I mean, it was just too much for me. I liked your presentation. I liked your vibe. I already knew you from the 14-day, and you are enthusiastic, but you're realistic. And so you told us all along that it's hard work. It's consistency, making a workflow consistently and continuing to do that. I also liked your philosophy of selling, because I don't like selling. I don't like being salesy. I don't like pushing people. I don't want to do that, though I know that as a coach, the only way I can help people is to let them know I'm there. And so again, I liked your philosophy. You told us to, serve, educate, give. And not only did you tell us to do it, you showed us by doing that yourself. And so by the time I went through all this, it was just a natural next thing for me, because I agreed with your philosophy. I felt like I could do what you were telling me to do and showing me what to do.
Interesting. And that's a great, thanks for saying all those things too, Melanie. And it shows with the work that you've done, but also just to think about too, like if we think about that right there, like look at the place that you were in where you decided you wanted to hire me and continue moving forward. And, if we think about all coaches, yourself included, right? When people are hiring us, think about the state they've got to be in, the relationship we've got to create along the way, the place they've got to be in for them to want to work with us. Not like it's impossible to, create that situation, but, the need's got to be there. The timing's got to be there. And it's interesting how you kind of laid all that out in different words of how you, created that decision to move forward. So now we had the group, we had 8 in our group, the particular one that you were with. And so now we started to do the real work. So you were at that, beginning phase of your business, right? Where you didn't have a website. You didn't have an email. Like you didn't really have anything when you started.
I didn't have anything.
And so talk about now, it was a 5-month program. Talk about like some of the things that you started to work on and some of the things that we built out over the 5 months. And then I want to talk about the work behind it all, because you shine there. So talk about the things that you accomplished, and then we'll talk about the realities of it.
Okay. So I actually was starting a little bit of a website going. I had another person doing it for me. Once again, it was like, do I try to do this myself? Do I get someone to help me? And so I did have someone working on that for me, but I had nothing else. And you got to start it on the email list. You got to started doing the Facebook Lives in the GoPro challenge. But then now in our group thing, we just continued on. And you just took it step by step. You gave me templates and things. So I got my email list going through Aweber. Started the weekly workflow that you told us. So I started every Sunday. I do what I call my Sunday Springboard. So I do a Facebook Live. It's about 10 minutes. I don't like long things, so I don't make long things. And I do the Facebook Live. And obviously at first I was so afraid. I like public speaking, but it's really different doing it in front of a camera instead of a group of people. But you got me started on that. And once I got going on it, then I realized that this is okay. This is good. I like this. So I make my video on Sunday. I copy it to YouTube, save it to YouTube. Then I copy it to my web page. And then I have my email, my weekly email that gives like a little preview of the next week's talk and buttons to get back to listen to the videos, and start working on my little spill like you have. And just, so I got that going well from the beginning. I think within the first couple of weeks, I got my little weekly thing going. And I heard you tell people, how you doing on your weekly thing? And they'd be going, nah. And I was always, I'm doing good on my weekly thing. I'm doing it. And so then as I got that done, then I started working on the challenge. That was a lot of work.
Yeah. So when you say the challenge, to clarify, people listening, this is your own challenge.
Right.
So we decided, to create your own 14-day challenge.
Yes.
Talk about the work, because in other words, we got your website up and going, like you said, the email system, things like that. And then you created this challenge. And at the end, I want you to share, about the challenge. We can bring up your website and talk about those pieces. But in the creation of, now you're out there, you're in front of your audience, you're starting to connect with new people, and We're going to create this challenge and market it. Talk about like the day-to-day and like the behind the scenes and some of the things you went through, because it's not easy at all.
Right. And first I want to mention some of the things that you told us that helped me so much. So you were always, just get it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there. Because I'm a perfectionist and I want it to be perfect. And nothing I did was anywhere close to perfect. Not at all. And I just kept saying, okay, Jeff says, just get it out there. Just get it out there. And so I did. And one of the things I do have to say is, this whole time of COVID has been a very terrible, stressful time. But what it did for me was it gave me time to work on this. Because like I said, I still have my day job. And so I would have to do this in the evenings and the weekends. And times I used to be running around doing things. Now I had it free. So it actually worked out well for me. And it also kept me from being bored. Other people are saying, I'm sick of Netflix. I'm like, I don't have time for Netflix. I'm busy doing coaching things. And so I worked on the content. I worked on the videos, all the logistics. So I learned how to do videos. I learned how to do basic editing of videos. And I got a green screen. I learned how to do the green screen. And I learned so much through it all. I worked so hard, learned so much. I have to say that I didn't get as many people to sign up as I wanted, but that was something you also told us. You said, it's okay if you don't get people. You've learned the process. It's that mastery orientation versus performance. I'm always learning. I'm growing. If I get nobody, I actually got a couple of people to sign up. And then I ran it again a week or so ago. I didn't get anybody then. Nobody was interested. But it was still just such a great process to learn how to do it. And now I can sit there and look at it and see, do I tweak it? Do I do a different content? Do I do a different way? But at least now I know how to do it all. I know how to set it up, create it and then set it up and market it and go through all the different processes. Everything that I learned there, I can just take forward and just tweak it and use it again.
And that's the thing is you have a process.
Yes, I have a process.
And a lot of that's the thing that's why I'm glad you share that with people, is because it's, there's so many people out there marketing, the gurus like, oh, we'll do this, we'll create a course, we'll, whether it's downloadable or a challenge or whatever it is. And it's just like, oh, and now you're going to do 5-figure months and you're going to do all this. And it's like, well, yeah, if you've got a large audience already, but when we're starting off, we don't have an audience, right? So I like to teach you the process of it all and say, hey, can we go through it a couple of times and get, 0 to 1, 0 to 5 people. Ideally, we get 1 to 5 people, right? But test the audience out a little bit. And so in order for you to be able to do that, you had to get really clear on your message and the process you were taking people through. And everything you learned along the way. And now you've got something, as you build your audience over the years, now you've got a great course or challenge you can run them through.
Right.
Yeah. And so now bringing it, full circle, tell people a little bit about like, we can pull your website domain up there too. But like, so what is your message? What is your challenge? So people can get where we come with that.
So I started off by just being a transition coach. I wanted to be kind of general, but you always, suggested or encouraged me to use my life, my story. And I have had a life of a lot of ups and downs. I've had 2 marriages that failed, and but yeah, now I live this happy, joyful life. And you said, people want to know how to do that. And so I started off, and my website still reflects the idea that it's transition, but after major life transitions. It kind of leans toward divorce, but it kind of goes for everything. One of the things you told us was, you said, look for your people, find out where your people are hanging out. And I ended up finding some Facebook groups that had women that I felt like I could really relate to. And as I started reading their posts, I actually got to be friends with the admin on one of them. And she's, we're still kind of working with things, but she's willing to help me. She actually posted my challenge on the Facebook group. And these women they're in abusive relationships. And so they will say, such and such, he did this, he did that, but I can't leave, or I've left, but I can't get him out of my head. I can't let go. And different people say this is a trauma bond. And I thought, trauma bond. Is that something that I can work with, or does it need to be a therapist? And so as I researched trauma, I started taking some trauma recovery courses or supporting trauma recovery courses. And it has to do with neuroscience, and it's just been fascinating to me. And so my niche is kind of in the process of, I'm working on it now. So the latest thing that you and I came up with, I haven't changed my website, but I said I partner with women to find their strength, courage, and confidence to help them create a new life, or women leaving abusive relationships to create a new life of love and value. I may actually change it to be just women recovering from abuse. I'm finding that I think there are many women out there, and men, people who are making it, they're doing okay. They don't necessarily need a therapist, but their past trauma is still bothering them in some way underneath the surface, and they don't really even realize it. And there are things that I've learned that can be really helpful with that I can do as a coach. I don't have to be a therapist for. So I'm really excited about that. I actually got my first real client, my own client. I'm doing a little bit of coaching with some other people, some coach friends from school, and that's going well too, but I actually got my own. And it was to do with the trauma stuff. So that's exciting for me, and it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's interesting is, I want people to hear too, is like there's that evolution. You're still in that evolution of your message. You're all, it's all in around the same circle, right? Yeah. It's saying it's saying the same thing a bunch of different ways.
Right.
But that's where people go. As I work with people, I find that you have a epicenter, and you have your different variations or iterations around that one area. And that's what happens. The great part is that you've done the work to get yourself out there, connect with people, talk to people, have a course that you can invite them to, be able to speak your message on a regular basis. And that allows it to evolve. So you're not behind the scenes, you're figuring out, and this is all in, 5-6 month time frame too, which is, it's really a short, it feels long when we start, right? But then when we get into it, it's just like it goes by so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doing my weekly thing has helped so much, because for me, I can do all this planning, but the idea of actually asking someone to hire me as a coach is really hard. But doing it every Sunday, I'll say, if you need some help with these things, consider hiring me as your coach. Go to my website, on my Springboard page, on my Work With Me page, fill out the form at the bottom of it, and I'll contact you, and we can talk and see where to go from there. And I've said it so many times now that it feels okay. I'm okay with that. And I don't feel like I'm trying to be salesy. I'm just letting you know I'm available if you want me. Contact me and let's talk. So it took doing it over and over and over to feel confident with that.
That's it right there, Melanie. It's like, when you say that, it's like, I feel like I've spoken the word, right? Like you're trained, and it just comes naturally, but now you feel confident in that. Whereas rewind 5 months, you couldn't do that.
Oh, I know.
You did not ask for business. You did not have a call to action. You didn't know what, you didn't have a process to take people through to see, now, I'm beaming to see the confidence, and you also do it so naturally. And I think that's the piece that's exciting is that now it feels good. It's comfortable. You have a message behind it. You're exploring some different areas as you move forward. And and your business is fun. It feels fun as you talk about it.
I love it.
Tell them real quick about your adventure challenge and what you did with it, because I think that's what I loved about you is you really pulled your creativity into what you did with your business.
Right. So what the work that I was trying to get us to do was, I used the core disciplines, things like awareness, conscious choice, things like that help us live our life. But what I said was, life is a trip. And it's a trip that we often don't feel like we don't have a GPS, we don't have a roadmap, we're just out there on this trip, we don't know where we're going, but let's create a roadmap. And so the roadmap is these different philosophies, these different concepts that can help us. And then, so each day I had a little 7 to 10 minute video talking about the concept, And then I had a workbook page if they wanted to do it. And then I had like a link that would send them on a virtual tour. So it was an adventure tour. We were traveling the world, creating our own roadmap, and seeing things. So, and I would, every link for the travel that day would, in some way, I tried to make it fit what we were studying. So it was fun. It was.
What was the name of the challenge?
The 14-day adventure challenge.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not getting to travel anywhere, and I thought nobody else is getting to travel anywhere. Let's just do it virtually and learn something on the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how you made it your own, which has been great. So, in wrapping this up, Melanie, what would you say the most valuable aspect of, the mentor coaching, the group and the mentor coaching has been for you? I know you've said a lot of things, but how would you summarize that for you?
Just the guidance to help me get a structure in place. I knew I needed some kind of structure, but I just didn't know what to do first, how to do it. You were so great. You took whatever we needed to go step by step through, you did. And I remember I would email you a question, and you would either call me back or you'd send me back a little audio file with it. You were just always there, and you showed us how to be, because you really served and gave, and you told us just, you make sure that you're giving them their worth, the worth of the money that they spent. And you really did that. And just the getting the structure, and then, like I said, the things you taught me, just get it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it, and you can tweak it and learn and grow as you go. That was really important for me, being a perfectionist.